looking at division with place value again, and we're kind of breaking things up. I've talked about in class, adjectives are the numbers, and then the place values themselves are like nouns that you can't really add 3/10 to 4/100 and say 4 plus 3 is 7 because one's apples, one's oranges. So when we take a look, we've got, in this case, 3 groups of how many tenths is 15. And so if we think, and we've got how many groups, we've got 3 groups of how many tenths, and it's going to equal 1 whole and 5 more tenths. So we know that this is one group. We know that in order to get to the ones place, that's 2 more groups. And so if we have 5/10, 5/10, 5/10, we know that's going to add up to this. And so in this case, 3 groups of 5/10. We don't have to put a decimal because it's got the word here. It's telling us what noun we're working with. So if we think about 15 divided by 3, we know it's going to be 5, but it's not 3 into 1 in the tens place at all. It's 3 doesn't fit into 1. So it's going to have to be smaller than a whole. So it'll be 5, but it's going to be in the tenths place. This is in the tenths place, so that's kind of a clue right there. Now if we take a look at this one, 5 groups of something thousandths, 5 groups of something thousandths is going to get you to 45. So if we think about it, we know 5 times 9 is 45, but this is in the thousandths place. And so we know that it's going to be a 9, and it'll be 9 thousandths. And then we can kind of prove it. If we go 45 divided by 5, we know that 5 doesn't fit into 4, so we'll bring our decimal up. And now we know that 5 goes into 45. Oh, guess what I did? I left a 0 out. Here's my mistake. I needed to go like this. 5 into no tenths, and then 45 thousandths. So fixing my mistake. 5 doesn't fit into 0. Never has, never will. 5 doesn't fit into 4. Goes in 0 times. 5 into 45, though, is 9. So now we've just kind of checked and we've proven that to be true. That's our proof. Now we'll take a look at the next one, and it's telling us here that we're going to complete the number sentence. Express the quotient, meaning the result of the division problem, in units and then in standard form. So I'm skipping over the first one. We'll kind of go to this next one here. And so it's kind of making the number sentence and spreading it out into word form just a little bit. So we're taking the number of ones, we're dividing the number of ones by 3. So how many ones do we have? So we have 36 ones. 36 ones. We have, the next one it's asking us is how many thousandths do we have? We happen to have 12 thousandths. 12 thousandths. So we can say, and just put that there, 36 ones, 12 thousandths is the same as how many ones. And so if we're saying this, we're going to go 3, because there is no division in this time. Do you see that? So we'll have to already do it. So think, 3 goes into 3 one time. So I'm going to put a 1. 3 goes into 6 2 times. Now let's take a look at this one. 3 times what gets you 12? 3 times 4 gets you 12. And so then when we write it out in standard form, like they asked, here's standard form. This is unit form. How many of them do we have? Here's your adjective, here's your noun, here's your adjective, here's your noun. And so we have to put 12 so that it's a whole number. Then we're going to have a decimal. And we have to say 4 thousandths, which is a single digit this time. So we're going to have nothing in the tenths place, nothing in the hundredths place, but we are going to have 4 right there in the thousandths place to verify that. Let's move to the next one. This one is asking us how many tenths divided by 5 plus how many hundredths divided by 5. So it's not worrying about the 1 yet. However, if we don't have a ones place, we know that this is going to be 35 tenths. 35 tenths. And 5 hundredths, because we've already used the 3, we've already used the 5. Let's use the 5 out of the hundredths place. Here's your hundredths place right here. And these are going to be divided by 5. So now we can think about this and say 5 goes into 35. It goes 7 times, giving us, now we're going to keep that same noun, 7 tenths. And because 5 doesn't fit into 3, we know it's not going to go in a whole number. We're not going to have a whole number left over. 5 goes into 5 hundredths just one time. 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 times 5, or 5 times 1 is 5. So we're going to say plus 1 hundredth. Now when we combine those, it's going to be 7 tenths and 1 100th. And now we can check our work. Let's check it out. So if we have 71 hundredths, and we multiply that by 5, we should get this. Let's see. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. We have 2 decimal places in our problem, so we need to have 2 decimal places also in our answer. So the decimal is going to go there. And that does match that. So we have our proof that yes, we got it right. Now we're going to move to the next page. Finding the quotients. Use words, numbers, or pictures to describe any relationship that you notice between the pairs of problems and their quotients. So you can think about this, 21 divided by 7, or think what times 7 gets you 21. We know that's going to be a 3. 3 times 7 gets us 21. Now this time it's the same thing. We know it's going to take a 3, but we know that we can never fit a whole 7 into 2 places. So the 7 is going to end up smaller. What size piece of 7 will fit into that is what we've got to think about. So in that case, if we think, well, it's going to have a 3, and then we think about, well, if this is in the tenths place, it's probably going to be 3 tenths. So if we say 3 tenths times 7, will it get us 2.1? Let's see. So right here, we can have 7 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each one of those is going to be 3 tenths. 3 tenths each. 3 tenths each. So I know that these 3 right here are going to get us to 9 tenths, because 3 times 3 is 9. And then if we do that again with these pair right here, that's going to be 6 tenths. This is going to be 6 tenths. So you can think about it. 9 and 6 is going to get you 15, right? 15. So if you have 15 tenths, and then you've got 6 more tenths, that's going to end up being, that's 11, that's carry, that's going to be 21 tenths. And you know for every 10 tenths it makes a whole. We have 2 sets of 10 tenths. So it's going to be 2, and then we have 1 tenth left over. And that matches this. So we just got our proof. So when you see something like this where you know, oh, 7, 21, oh yeah, 3. Oh, but hang on a second, 7 doesn't fit into 2. Tenths, tenths. Okay, so for your homework tonight, here are the exit ticket problems. It's asking you complete the sentences with the correct number of units and then complete an equation. I'm going to ask you to pick 2 of these. Pick 2. And then you get to the next one, and it says complete the number sentence, express the quotient in the form, in a unit form and in standard form. So this one is kind of like what we were doing, how it got a little bit more complicated as you went. How many tenths? So I'm going to kind of work it out a little bit to give you a hint. 45 tenths divided by 5 is equal to how many tenths? Or this number here. And so when we were thinking about this, we know 5 times 9 gets us this. So if it's 9 tenths, so then that's your answer. When you go to write it in standard form, it's going to be 9 tenths. I would like you to try this one then, now that we've kind of thought about it. Okay? See you tomorrow.